On July 26, 2016, Aisling Tucker Moore Reed, a 26-year-old author and actress, fired the shot that killed her uncle, Shane Patrick Moore, amidst a heated dispute over a $1 million family ranch. This narrative delves into Aisling's psychological journey through 6 pivotal stages, analyzing her state of mind, behaviors, and motives, from the roots of family discord to her reintegration after prison. Aisling Tucker Moore Reed lived close to her mother, Kelly Moore, in a family torn apart by disputes over a 150-acre ranch owned by her grandmother, Lore Moore, in Applegate, Oregon, valued at over $1 million. Shane Patrick Moore, Aisling's uncle and Kelly's brother, was at the heart of the conflict, frequently arguing with Kelly over inheritance rights and loans Kelly had taken against Lore's property. In 2015, an event permanently altered Aisling's relationship with Shane. During an argument at Kelly's home, Shane threw a bottle of motor oil through a screen door, striking Aisling in the face. The injury was severe, threatening her career as an actress and model. A restraining order was issued, prohibiting Shane from contacting Aisling, and he faced assault charges. In later testimony, Aisling described the incident as a pain that was not only physical, but also emotional, instilling fear and resentment toward Shane. Aisling lived in a state of prolonged stress due to family conflicts. Her emotional dependence on Kelly, who frequently recounted arguments with Shane, heightened her sense of insecurity. The 2015 assault solidified Shane's image as a violent threat, fostering a mix of fear and anger. According to Need's theory, Aisling felt a lack of safety and family stability, making her highly sensitive to any actions by Shane involving her mother or Lore's property. Aisling avoided direct contact with Shane but began recording family conversations as a means to gather evidence against him. This behavior reflected a state of vigilance and a need to protect her mother, indicative of a guarded psychological state. At this stage, Aisling had no specific criminal motive, but fear and resentment toward Shane began to take root, fueled by the assault and property disputes. Her underlying motive was to protect her mother and maintain control over the family's assets. On the morning of July 26, 2016, Aisling woke up at Lore's house, where she and Kelly were temporarily staying to care for Lore after a heart attack. Shane, despite the restraining order, had appeared at the ranch a week earlier and announced he would bring a notary to sign a deed splitting the property 50-50 between him and Kelly after Lore's death. In a rage, Kelly told Aisling that Shane was trying to force Lore to sign the deed by threatening to kill her if she refused. Around 8 a.m., Aisling found an old gun in the house, possibly belonging to her grandfather. She took it to the porch and fired a single shot, later claiming it was to check if the gun was loaded. The sound of the shot prompted Shane, who was nearby, to run back to his house and call 911 at 1:40 p.m., reporting that Aisling had fired a gun and requesting a deputy's presence to ensure safety when the notary arrived. At this point, Aisling's motive was to protect her mother and family from the perceived threat posed by Shane, reinforced by the threat to kill Kelly, which she believed to be true. The property dispute was a secondary motive, as Shane's deed could reduce Kelly and Aisling's control over the ranch. Accumulated family tension increased the risk of violent behavior. Around 3:40 p.m., notary Carla Triber arrived at Lore's house. Kelly, in a fit of rage, shouted and tore the document apart. Shane rushed toward the front door, pushing it open, while Kelly screamed in panic. Aisling, holding her phone to record, ran to the table, grabbed the gun, and shouted, "Pick up the gun!" Within 20 seconds of Shane entering, Aisling raised the gun, aimed at his chest, and fired a single shot. Shane collapsed, blood pooling on the floor. The video on Aisling's phone captured the entire event, showing that Shane did not act violently or threateningly. In this moment, Aisling was overwhelmed by a combination of intense fear and explosive anger. Her belief that Shane would kill her mother, based on Kelly's relayed threat and Shane's violent history in 2015, propelled her into a state of heightened agitation. According to impulsive behavior theory, the stress from the 2015 assault, property disputes, and Shane's presence triggered a powerful emotional response, overriding rational control. The video showed no hesitation in raising the gun, but afterward, she collapsed, crying and vomiting, indicating immediate emotional distress. As Shane lay on the floor, Aisling collapsed, vomiting and crying, muttering, "I didn't want this. I thought he was going to kill Mom. But when Carla Triber shouted that Shane was still alive, Aisling let out a curse, captured on video, as if his survival was undesirable.
You told her, get out of here! Oh, God! Get it from me! Jesus! God, she shot him!
Kelly, coldly, told the 911 operator, "I don't want to help him. He's a crazy lunatic." Aisling clung to her mother, seeking comfort, while Carla called 911, reporting the chaos. Aisling fell into a state of emotional turmoil, oscillating between remorse and justification. Her crying and vomiting indicated shock and initial guilt, but the curse, when learning Shane was alive, suggested anger or an intent for him not to survive. According to psychological defense mechanisms, Aisling employed rationalization to justify her action as necessary to protect her mother and displacement to shift blame onto Shane, whom she viewed as the cause of the conflict. Her dependence on Kelly reinforced this state as she sought validation from her mother to alleviate guilt. The protective motive to save her mother continued to dominate, but the curse suggested a personal resentment toward Shane, possibly rooted in the 2015 assault and family conflicts. This lack of empathy in that moment complicated her claims of remorse. Aisling was arrested at the scene and charged with first and second-degree manslaughter. She was released on $200,000 bail in August 2016. During this time, she starred in the film From the Dark under the stage name Win Reed, playing a killer whose crime is framed as self-defense, an eerie parallel to her case. In 2018, the video on her phone, inadvertently provided by her lawyer to prosecutors, led to a second-degree murder charge. The video showed Shane was not threatening, dismantling Aisling's self-defense claim. On May 27, 2020, she pleaded guilty to second-degree manslaughter, receiving a 75-month sentence and expressing remorse. "I am deeply sorry for the pain I caused my family." Aisling wavered between remorse and self-preservation. Her film role suggested an ability to emotionally detach from her crime, a trait possibly linked to narcissistic tendencies, though no formal diagnosis exists. Her 2021 lawsuit against her lawyer, alleging negligence for providing the phone, reflected a displacement defense mechanism, attempting to shift blame to lessen guilt. Her courtroom remorse may have been genuine, but was overshadowed by prior actions, such as the film role. According to narcissistic personality theory, continuing her acting career reflected a need to maintain her self-image, even amid guilt. During this period were to maintain her reputation and career through acting, and minimize legal responsibility through the lawsuit and guilty plea. The expressed remorse may have been a social motive to reduce her sentence and regain public sympathy. According to reports, Aisling was released from Coffee Creek Correctional Facility in November 2024 after serving 75 months. No public information details her activities post-release, but she must comply with 3 years of probation. The ranch, the root of the conflict, is now a painful memory. At 35, Aisling faces the challenge of reintegrating into society with a criminal past. Aisling likely experiences isolation and difficulty reintegrating. According to restorative justice theory, she needs time to confront her actions' consequences and seek redemption. Aisling is reportedly living quietly, avoiding public attention. This behavior indicates an effort to reintegrate and evade societal stigma tied to her past. Her post-release motives are to rebuild her life and comply with probation. Returning to art or writing could reflect a desire to reclaim her creative identity, but her criminal history will remain a barrier. Aisling Tucker Moore Reed was once a writer, an actress, and a woman shaped by the emotional wreckage of a fractured family. But in a span of just 20 seconds, she crossed the line from daughter and victim to the perpetrator of a fatal act. Her crime wasn't the product of cold-blooded calculation, but of years of unresolved trauma, fear, and psychological dependency that finally boiled over. Now, released from prison, Aisling is no longer the young woman basking in stage lights. She walks the world as a convicted killer, marked not just by the law, but by the inescapable weight of public memory. Whether she returns to writing or quietly fades from view, one truth remains. That single gunshot didn't just take a man's life. It shattered any chance at peace for the Moore family. The question now is no longer, was she guilty? The court settled that. The real question is, can a mind warped by twisted love ever truly be healed after crossing the line of no return?